Hi, I'm Andrew from Creative Guitar Studio. It is Friday, March 26th, 2010, and this is my guitar video blog here that I do every week, and what I do on it is I either answer questions off of my blog website or I answer questions from YouTube. This week happens to be a YouTube week, so I'm just going to crack open my YouTube personal messenger thing here and go through some of the questions that have come in. So the first question is from Trent, and he says here, it's a real short one, says, is music a real job? Okay, what I mean is, do you make a steady income per month, or is it all just by chance month to month? Well, it depends what you're doing. You know, some people I know, like, you know, well, first of all, let me say about myself, you know, which is obviously a situation I know best. So I have a studio, you know, I teach students, and I have entertainment, you know, mainly company focused basically on weddings. You know, it's a huge part of what I'm doing. But I do the odd other job through the year as well. You know, different events, wine and cheese, you know, functions like that. Mostly solo guitar, but I'm really trying to, you know, build a new thing with a jazz trio that I'm working with. You know, and I've got something coming up, you know, in the next few months. I'm going to start working out of a restaurant as well, you know, at you know, sort of the city center. So, I mean, I kind of do that stuff. I do some freelance stuff, although I'm trying to cut back on my freelance stuff right now and just focus on my own stuff. But, you know, like, so I do, you know, a multitude of things, and, you know, the studio and teaching obviously is more steady income. But I know other people who really don't teach at all, and they have other sources. You know, they maybe are, you know, composers. There's a local guy around town here named Greg Lowe. You can just go to his website. It's just Greg Lowe, LOWE.com. Go check his site out. He composes a lot of stuff, and he, you know, he does stuff for, you know, Canadian Film Board, National Film Board, and you know, he's got gigs that he does. He's got a couple of different bands. He's got some other situations, I guess, that he's working in. So I mean, there's someone like him. I know other people too, where they're really in with a lot of corporate and event bookers. They do a lot of stuff that's at, you know, some of the big fancier 5-star sort of hotels around town. So, I mean, everybody kind of does their own thing, and a lot of it, that's, you know, like when you look at the studio and the teaching end of it, for me, that is a very steady type of thing, because students are paying you every month. But for some of these other guys, it's very steady also for them, because they're so well networked. So it depends what you do. Overall, I gotta say that it's all about your attitude, and it's all about your level of skill. Those are the two things that you've really got to have a huge, you know, handle on. And if you don't, you know, then you may not really be able to make a living at this business. Okay, so let's go to the next question here. This one is from Chris. He wrote in saying, my guitar teacher won't let me play songs that I like. I am really into classic rock and some acoustic guitar pieces by guys like Andy McKee and that alternate tuning stuff. My teacher wants me to play strictly classical because he says it's the correct thing to be playing at my age. What is your opinion? I'm 14 years old. You know, I think I'd kind of maybe suggest getting rid of that guitar teacher and finding somebody new. You know, when people come to me and they're playing guitar for fun, or they're like, you know, the ages of, let's say, 12, 13, 14, all the way to 16 or even 18 or so, I just, whatever they want to do, you know, if they come in one week and they say, hey, I want to learn a classical piece, we'll do that. If they come in the next week and they say, hey, I want to do a Metallica tune, you know, then I'll just say, yeah, sure, let's do that. If they come in a couple weeks later and they say, you know what, I want to get really heavy into theory, then I'll just say, yeah, sure, man, let's do a bunch of theory. So, I mean, that's, I think, the way it's kind of best suited for people, you know, unless they have a real course type of outline they want to do. So if they come in with a book and they say, you know what, man, I want to do nothing but this, you know, Royal Conservatory classical method and this theory stuff, and, you know, and they focus in on that. But still, really, if you think about it, it's still kind of like a matter of choice. I think if you're paying for guitar lessons, you should be able to do and study whatever you want to do. So that would be my answer to you there. Let's go to another question here. This one is from Elliot. He's saying, let's scroll down a bit here. What is the best age to start jamming with a band? I've been playing for 3 years now, and I'd like to get a band started, or at least a bass and drums thing with a couple of guys, yeah, no, in my basement, whatever. Okay, I'm 15 years old. What's best for me? you know what? You just start jamming with people whenever you want. There's no age limit or age restrictions on this. Sometimes you hear stories about, you know, these young kids who are like 8 or 9 years old and they start jamming with people, and, you know, all of a sudden they got like sort of a weekly gig that they do in an old folks home or something, and then by the time they're in their early 20s, they're unbelievable, you know, guitar players. So, you know, whenever you feel ready and whenever you can find that group of people, just do it. There's no age restrictions or anything on that whatsoever. Let's go to the next question here. This one's from Roman. He says, I think my songs are amazing, and I feel that I am destined to become a famous musician. Nobody believes in me, though. You seem like a knowledgeable man. Okay, tell my wife that, please. Do you, by any chance, know what... Do you know what the mathematical odds are of becoming a famous musician? The mathematical odds, not really. Like there's, you know, what, 6 or 7 billion people in the world. How many of them are famous? I guess there's, you know, some math for you to do. I've heard that, you know, it's 5 times more likely that you'll actually win the lottery than it is that you'll become a famous rock star. I remember hearing that. I got an idea here. Okay, so where I live in Canada, there's this thing called Lotto 649, right? And it's like, you know, it's like a multi-million-dollar lottery. I think they run it like once a week. I don't know. I don't play lotteries, so I have no clue. But it's, you know, you pick numbers between 1 and 49, and you get to pick 6 numbers and whatever. So that's how you can win, right? You do the jackpot. And I know there's a store not too far away from where I live. They have sort of a sign up there because they sell those lottery tickets at that store. And it says something like, you know, your chances of winning the jackpot, which is all the numbers, all 6 numbers, is 1 in 14 million. So what's like 14 times 5? That is like 70. So your chances of becoming a rock star, I guess, or a professional, or a famous musician, are like 1 in 70 million. I guess if that's true, that, you know, that thing I heard because I heard that a long time ago. That was probably in the 80s that I heard that, in the 1980s era there, where I remember there was a sort of thing going around where the chances are, anyway. If, you know, get into being a musician because you love music, and you know, if you become famous, all the power to you. If you don't, just, you know, live a happy life as a musician. I guess that's what I suggest. Anyway, that's all the time I got for today. Thanks for joining me. I will be vlogging next week. Bye for now. Take care.